Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been a good day. It has indeed. I took Bambini out again at about 7:30. Bumped into a few people, was able to try, well, hopefully helped a few people with their animals, with their dogs. Gave some advice to people who were having issues with their dogs. So, yeah, that's cool. One thing I have realised since then is that I spent a lot of time talking about the issues of this world to people when I go out with Bambini. Sometimes conversation will start with somebody and we'll talk about what's going on in the world. And far too much time has been spent on that, really. But it's partly because of the fact I've understood is that I watch videos on YouTube, and a lot of the videos on YouTube, well, if you watch a video that's talking about a certain thing, you'll get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more videos. As soon as you press restart YouTube, all these other videos come up talking about the same thing, so you'll watch another one. Then you get a load more coming. So, yeah. Tend to watch a lot of stuff that's talking about what's going on in the world. Yeah. And, I've realised, well, I've got to stop doing that. Because that's not the good news that we can share. There are far more important things that we can talk about with people. Helping people with their dogs, that's cool. Can do that. Yes. Yeah. Very important to be speaking about God and what God is doing. Yeah. Or even ask people about their understanding of God. But then again, I suppose to a certain degree, you've got to start conversations and have conversations where you can. And some conversations have started with talking about the world and ended up talking about God. They're better. I prefer those conversations, yes. Yeah. But I suppose to a certain degree, even if you have a conversation talking about the world, if you can end that conversation in a way that's a blessing to the people you're speaking to bless them in some way, then it's worth it. Yeah. You've achieved something good in that conversation, so that's cool. Yeah, not everything you say has to be about God, I suppose. Yeah. So, it certainly is a case where there is room for improvement in all these areas, and my knowledge of God is nowhere near what it needs to be. No. I have a certain amount of understanding, but actually, what has been quite fascinating, I recommended Chris Blackerby to my friend Peter as someone that might interest him if he listened to. So I started rewatching some of Chris Blackerby's stuff. The 5 Falls of Genesis, I believe one of them is. Very interesting. Very interesting. And certainly, with my understanding now, I'm hearing a lot more stuff than I did the first time I heard it. Because I have listened to that video or listened to that series before. At the time when God was first speaking to me about such things. And I didn't take much of it in, but now, yeah. And yeah. What I find now is that whenever he is speaking about the Lord and about, how God has worked things out from the Old Testament with all the things that are going on, it was all about preserving the line. So that Yeshua would be, yeah. And when he says that, there are tears in my eyes then. I just find myself getting more emotional when I think. That's why, when people say, that when you say, that God said, you go through the word to a relationship with Father, and then you don't need the word anymore. It's saying you don't need the word anymore. And I said to them, without really understanding it, because I understand it a damn sight more now, when you are a baby, you need the word. Because you can't live without it. You need that relationship with Yeshua. When you come to maturity, or any form of maturity, you don't need that as much. You can get to a point where you don't need it. But it doesn't mean that you don't love it. You have a lot more love for Yeshua, because without him you wouldn't have a relationship with Father God. So you end up appreciating Yeshua more. Because being saved is one thing. Being able to have a relationship with Father God as a human, that's another level. And understanding that was part of his purpose, Yeshua. So we could go through him to that relationship with Father. Just absolutely beautiful. And I am blessed by that while listening again to the Chris Blackerby stuff, that when the Lord is mentioned, it's quite an emotional thing, that love is felt. So that's cool. So it's all good when it comes down to it. Well, after this year, I believe it's the 23rd of July, it will be 29 years. And now I'm becoming that new creation. I wasn't that. For most of my time, the old man was still very much run in my life. Whereas now, no. There are still a few giants to be dealt with in my life. Well, actually, beautifully, smoking is dealt with. I started smoking when I was about 14, and I had that in my life for, nearly 40 years. Nearly. But that was dealt with. A few other things, things like sugar in tea and coffee. I mean, at one point when I was in Dorset, I worked out I was having 50 sugars a day, 50 teaspoons of sugar a day, because I was having about 25 cups of tea or coffee a day, each with 2 sugars. And so dealt with that as well. But of course, lust is still an issue. It's nowhere near as big an issue as it has been. It certainly, notice has been given. That giant is going to be dealt with. I do not doubt it. But that was introduced to my life when I was 7. Nearly 47 years ago now. So, that's a giant. But that giant will be dealt with. And I think that may be the last. But, don't know. Don't know. Time will tell. But I say, even that one, it's nowhere near as big an issue as it has been. Because, Father is helping me to see things differently now. Yeah. So, that's good. Am I seeing things perfectly in that way yet? No, not yet. But, getting there. And that's the thing. We get there, don't we? So, yeah. So, there you go. You take care, God bless. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Be a blessing, be blessed, and enjoy. Bye bye.